everything that's involved in business readiness. What's business readiness? Basically, it's organizational change. It's getting an organization ready, making sure that your organization is ready for a major change and how to roll that out and what it touches upon. This is what it is. Let me show you the knowledge graph for it. The knowledge graph is like this, and it shows you business readiness in the middle and all the topics that are aligned to business readiness and that are touched by business readiness. When I open this up, and you'll see there's a lot happening here. We have, I can zoom in a bit so you can actually read what's going on here. These are all the topics that are aligned to readiness and that touch business readiness. For instance, manufacturing readiness, organizational readiness, that's what it's about. Business agility, that's your disaster recovery readiness. Business readiness, agile readiness, um, governance readiness, IPO readiness. It's used in all these areas, business readiness. So an organizational change, a change management program, how do you roll that out? You use business readiness as a thought process to make sure that you're doing the right things here. Now, all these areas that you see here have activities aligned to them. For instance, one of the business readiness areas, we'll just pluck one out here. Governance readiness process, we'll open it up and we'll see what's related to that. The blue questions, the blue balls that pop up now are questions that you can ask in your organization to make sure that that organization is ready for a governance readiness process. Like, have you considered how the business models of your competitors will impact your strategy? Are there disaster recovery and planning and business continuity plans in place? How are you managing the need for changes in the size, organization, and skill requirements of the workforce in each business service area? Make sure you do that when governance readiness needs to be in place. Does your organization have a risk management plan linked to its strategic and business plans? And how do you optimize your IT operating model to deliver the required business capabilities? Now, with all these, I can just go deeper as well. I can go, let's pick one, a random one here. Are there disaster recovery and business continuity plans in place? I'm going to have a look at what's underneath that one. The best ideas, so the activities that I need to have in place at least, are these one. Rate the readiness of your business readiness to meet the business need lead scoring, which is important for businesses to become the more attractive external hire somewhere else. Then, need removable storage for backup and disaster. These are ideas that you need to take care of for disaster recovery and business continuity plans. Are they in place? Make sure that you do that. Now, you see here those yellow balls that pop up here. They are topics that are aligned to the main question here. So if I go on this one and I'll open it up, have a look here, you'll see that other questions that pop up related to disaster is: how is business continuity, backup, and disaster recovery currently handled in your organization? Now, also what I wanted to mention here with the activity balls, the things that you need to be doing, it shows you a few things more. It shows you what kind of job roles need to be aligned with that. Quality assurance specialist, program manager, consultant. These are the people that you need to involve in your business readiness project when you're specifically dealing with governance readiness process here. So that's sort of how it's all connected. When I zoom out, you get a bit of an idea of how everything's connected. Now, this is a high level overview. Now, let's make it a whole lot easier for everyone involved because everyone involved is, let's start out with showing you what's involved, who's involved actually. Everyone involved is these people. These are the job roles that are involved in business readiness with business readiness. And I'll just zoom in and I'll fly over it so you can have a quick peek of what kind of job roles are in there. We see project buyer, quality analyst, product owner, product manager, procurement analyst, senior consultant, organizational change management project manager. And what you can do with this is you can click on one of those. And if it's all as well, then what comes up is an activity that that person needs to take care of. Anticipate applying ESG considerations to a smart beta strategy. And the question you should be asking there is: are the internet and IT initiatives integrated with the business strategy of your organization? That's what I want to be doing here. And then other activities that pop up that I can be doing here to take care of organizational readiness strategy. So there's another way of looking at it when I'm doing business readiness, looking at the job roles, the job activities, and the roles that are involved in business readiness and how they need to be doing what kind of activities in relationship to business readiness. These are all the job roles that are involved straight in any organization, major organization, in business readiness and changes in an organization, organizational change. And you might recognize your own job role in here, or people around you, or other people's job roles that you know and that you are familiar with. Now let's have a look at what I wanted to show you is it's a lot. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of activities, business readiness. But you want to focus on one thing. You want to focus on the challenges that you deal with when you're dealing with business readiness. So the major challenges. Now, let me take care of making it easier for you instead of this whole. This is what you can do. These are the 5 major challenges that you need to be taking care of with business readiness. Determine the material requirements and readiness. Provide any insight into your current digital strategy. Digital first is to go with most organizations these days. Proceed the search for a grand new strategy. Never stop looking for a new strategy, a better strategy. Assess the readiness of organizations to elevate and refine the role of compliance area versus business unit investments. So compliance, or are we renewing, or are we just focusing on compliance and staying compliant with what we're doing, or finding a fine balance in between those? Have information systems and business continuity continuously throughout everything you're doing here. Now let me open them all up and we can have an overview of what's going on here actually. There, let me zoom out a bit. So these are the 5 activities that are of most important to business readiness, and you will see here as well that the job roles attached to them are VP quality management, workforce, strategy lead, people that you can get involved in a business readiness program. If you look at the questions that are involved here, this one links to the readiness of organizations to elevate and refine. So what's your business case and why should you create one? Ask that question. How far to go with business continuity planning and technical readiness? This one. Are the internet and IT initiatives integrated with the business strategy of your organization? Do some business models perform better than others? How do you find that out? You determine the material requirements and readiness. That's what you do there. And if I open it up, I get some more. If I just want to pull one out, I go like, okay, let's focus on, do some business models perform better than others? Let's focus on what do I do here? We evaluate the effects of risks in performance models. We lead our organization in various stages of readiness, and we rate our organization's overall readiness with regard to the business and technical capabilities. That's what we want to be doing here. And again, I'm pulling out who is involved here. This is the logistics manager that has to do with that. And the major areas that these persons need to be focusing on are capabilities here, continuity there, compliance there, which again, if I want to focus down and go into the rabbit hole, I can click on compliance and we can see what other areas are involved in compliance and what other things I need to be taken care of in compliance in relation to business readiness. Have specific compliance, privacy, governance, or audit requirements. Have performing other types of auditing or compliance. Have those performing. Accounts for multiple sets of objectives and criteria for compliance. Agree with the suggested approach in relation to the compliance functions, and assess the future readiness of your organization to elevate and refine the role. And again, I can open it up. Same thing. We have the questions popping up that are related to this and the job roles. But before we go any deeper into this, you can see what's happening here. We'll focus on these ones. These are the 5 major areas of what we need to be looking at. We're going to open them all up, and then we'll see what's going happening here. And what you have here is like a very quick, let's pull that one down here. So we have a view there, that one there. So basically see what's going on. So these are all the areas that I need to be focusing on when I'm dealing with business readiness and the most important activities that I need to be doing here. So answer these questions and make sure that you take care of all these activities in here as well. Makes it a whole lot easier instead of just starting out with a whole major ball game, all the balls. Focus on these things. These things you need to be focusing on with business readiness, and this will tell you as well what to do, who to involve, and how to do it basically. Another angle that you can use in using this is start with the questions to ask, for instance. So don't start with the activities that need to be in place, but start with question-based consulting, which is basically what we do. That's our bread and butter. So start with question-based consulting, find the most important questions to ask, and take it from there. Let me show you the three most important questions to ask that come out of this model and how they're related to each other and what comes up. These are the three most important questions to ask. What is your business case and why should you create one? Do some models perform better than others? And are the internet and IT initiatives integrated with the business strategy of your organization? Two of those you've seen before in relationship to all the activities that needed to be in place, which is logical because these were the most important activities, and those, what you see here, are the most important questions you need to have in place. Now, when we open them all up, 1, 2, and 3, we get a nice overview of all the activities that we need to be doing in our organization and the questions that we need to be asking. I'm going to open all the green balls open up as well, the activity balls, so we have an excellent overview of business readiness. How ready are we to make sure that we get business readiness done well? Open them all up. Here they are. This is my complete overview of business readiness, what I need to be doing from a question perspective, from a question perspective, from a question point of view. So I need to be taking care of people like the workforce strategy lead planning lead, logistics manager, organizational change manager, project management, the organizational change lead. And while I'm talking to these people, I can open them up and I can ask them more questions and activities. Are you taking care of this as well? Do you handle multiple customer data stores? So I take one angle. I either pick the most important questions to ask, or I pick the most important activities, the ideas to put in place in an organization, and I run with one of those. And I basically take it from there, either these three questions or the five major activities to put in place in an organization to make sure that you're doing it right. Now, one more thing that I wanted to show you that I really like about this as well is when I'm diving into, for instance, this one, do some business models perform better than others? You see this one, the most important word, models. More questions pop up around models. So I want to focus on one specific area of business readiness in relationship to models and the questions that I need to be asking. These are then the questions that I should be asking. Have you considered how the business models of your competitors will impact your strategy? Are service providers equipped to develop business models that are desirable, viable, and feasible? Should businesses be thinking about decentralized business models as well? And how ready are providers to develop desirable, feasible, and viable business models? So the providers and the vendors that you have in place. You can run with organizational change in your organization itself, but you're always relying on external partners, on your vendors, on people that you work with, third parties, outsourcing vendors, everything that's aligned in your value stream creation, basically. So there's an example of the things that you need to be thinking of when you think about business change and value management in relationship to business readiness. Uh, the full set of everything that's in business readiness is it's a big set of activities that are in there, activities, questions, and the relationships between them. All the job roles, I've shown you some of the job roles that are in there, and this is basically the whole enchilada, as I say it. This is everything and how it's connected when you're dealing with business readiness, the questions that you need to be asking, the ideas, the answers that you need to be looking for, the people that you need to have in place to fulfill those roles and those activities, and the other thought areas that you need to be looking at in these areas to get business readiness in place, and how everything is interconnected. Now, this is to me, it's really helpful to a lot of people out there and organizations that we deal with and help as clients as well, um, to deal with business readiness in general, and make sure that they understand what they got themselves into. Make sure that they don't forget anything, because if I go back to the original start where we started, this one, let's run it, not that one, the business readiness one where we started, you'll see that it touches upon so many different areas that we need to be focusing on. All the blue balls here, and we just pull out one and we'll take it from there, because this is the one, for instance, that's in most of importance to us right now. Governance readiness process. So that's a way of looking at it. Pick one area here, look, or either look at the job roles that are involved, or either look at the most important questions that you need to be asking, or either look at the most important ideas that you need to be implementing to get business readiness done well. Now, that was it for me today. I hope that was informative. Thanks very much for being here, and I'll talk to you again another time.